Hey guys, and welcome back. I was just checking that my microphone was actually not muted. So I just thought I'd bring this up because this is actually the finished version of one of the drawings I think I started uh, on last week. So this is the snake. Well, I've called it totem snake. Um, it's actually not quite finished because I've forgotten to give Phantom Pain snake here a nose. Um, I might do his scarring as well. And probably some old, very basic skin details for old snake. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much that. So I'm quite pleased with it. Considering I haven't drawn much. Um, uh, and I like the kind of style for it too. I'm actually not going to work on a Tetsukabra picture today. I'm actually going to start on one that I started the other day, and it's in reference to Banjo Kazooie and the new. Well, I would assume it would be next year, hopefully. The new company that started up, I forget the name, but they're making a sort of spiritual successor to Banjo Kazooie called Yooka Laylee. And it's a chameleon and a bat as opposed to bear and bird. So I was just gonna do something fun. It kind of looks like he's getting beaten up, but it'll be more sort of tongue in cheek, arm rounds. Well, I guess this guy's ukulele. I don't know how the characters' names are split up. Um, mm, but yeah, that's the design I was going for anyway with that. Um, so I'll be starting that today. So I'm just gonna grab that blue pen. I might drop this opaque down a bit too. So again, although I already have a blue pen for this, I will draw most of it again anyway. Just because I can, if I draw the arm and I don't like it, I want his arm to be out, like coming out more of this angle or something. And it's definitely easier to change that with a digital blue pen than it is to try and manipulate this picture. So we're gonna do that to start. Let's just yeah. Before I start that though, I don't remember if I actually showed the final, but I did finish Command Wolf. And that's what he looks like there with the gun turrets on him and whatnot. So I'll just bring him a bit closer. So he looks pretty cool. Um, Pretty impressed by the amount of detail that there is, especially like with the extras, like the jets on the back here, um, and the exhaust and things like that. I believe in the show they get added on during a tougher competition battle when they need a bit more speed or something, and he puts the jets on, and more guns and things like that. Um, And then later on, like I've actually been calling it wrong, but uh he finds a facility where they're designing Shadow Fox. I thought it was Shadow Wolf because Command Wolf, Shadow Wolf, but I think it's actually Shadow Fox. Um, and that's hopefully the next one I'll get, depending on what they have at PAX if at all, or what they have at Supernova this year. Because I probably won't get another one this year, but maybe next year we'll see. But I've been talking for way too long. Let's start sort of guiding this picture out. Um, so Banjo's head is actually kind of weird shape. It's actually not very round, and the neck, like, because I'm using the Banjo from Nuts and Bolts because I like that design, even though the game was terrible. Um, but his head kind of joins on to his neck. It's kind of like one sort of piece. So I might try and at least give him some sort of neck. But the reason also I'm choosing the Nuts and Bolts Banjo is because the design for Yooka Laylee is kind of very similar in design as well. Um, it's very sort of like square. Like if you were drawing, like when you draw on like a very basic hand, you do like the rounded, glove kind of shape with the thumb, or you might just draw like a circle with a, with a cuff or something like that. But the design for Banjo's hand is very sort of like square shape with very sort of square fingers as well, and not to the same extent, but there are definitely similarities in the design for Yooka Laylee, so it'll be good to have them uh, the with similar design. And so have one arm there, one arm there. So I did mention, yeah, it's a chameleon and a bat and bear and bird. If you haven't played Banjo games before, um, the originals definitely worth giving a go. Nuts and bolts, uh, it's the game. The game's decent. I'll give it decent. It's just not uh, a, it's not really a Banjo game. It's a physics-based puzzle driving game that has been tacked on to uh, an IP that Microsoft had bought. Um, so it's the best I can give. That's probably the best review anyone's ever given of Nuts and Bolts, to be honest. But it is true. They really haven't done any service for the fans of Banjo Kazooie, and since it was sold over to Microsoft, it hasn't been. Haven't really done anything with it at all. And even after Nuts and Bolts, they've just released like a rare collection, um, and all of the Banjo games are on that. Um, but they also could be the Microsoft version of Banjo Kazooie, where they kind of nerfed some aspects of the game. So it's not even like the proper game. Like all it is, it's just the essentially in the old game when you collected the notes, which were like essentially the main form of one of the main forms of currency um, for the game. If you collected, say, 80 notes in a level and then quit the level and came back, you would actually have to um, collect those original 80 again. Um, so if you wanted to get 100 notes in the level, you'd have to collect all 100 at one time, and that was the sort of challenge of the game. And I think, well, I know in at least Banjo Kazooie that they brought out for the arcade version for Xbox 360 and now Xbox One. It's definitely not like that anymore. You can exit a level and your progress is saved, which does make it more convenient. I know that, but that's it was never the point. The point was that it was a challenge. But never mind, I guess. Even though it should never really come to that. I was kind of just ramble on a bit about something that really I can't really change. Um, so just kind of have to accept, unfortunately. Uh, but we'll leave it there because I kind of wasted a bit of time talking before I started. Um, but yeah, you can see more clearly from this what the image is kind of going to entail, and I'll do some more tomorrow, but I'll leave it there. So hopefully you had a good Wednesday, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. All right, cheers, guys.